Hi, I'm Elizabeth Hanson with Keto Confab, and it's Wednesday night, 7 o'clock, so it's time for our weekly meeting. And this week, I don't have a topic for us to discuss, but Dr. Hanson suggested we continue talking about fasting if anyone wants to talk more about fasting. And I just asked Tammy, and she hasn't started her continuous glucose monitoring yet. So we're going to put that off until she's done it. It's not even out of the box yet. And so we'll keep holding on that until we've got someone in person to ask a million questions of. Welcome Julie back. She's not working tonight on the ambulance. That's good. And we have a new person, Michelle, that's not been here before.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
I'm friends with Tammy, so
okay.
she invited me, so I thought I'd check out the group.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then we have another person named Tamara. Tamara, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long you've been keto, et cetera, et cetera? Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't show that she's not on. It doesn't show that she's muted.
Yeah, she might be having technical difficulties. So we'll just go on. And so Michelle, how long have you been keto?
So I started the program back when Dr. Boz first put it on the first keto continuous whatever. And started it, did really well with it. Probably lost a good 15 pounds, maybe a little bit more. And I was doing excellent. And then I injured my shoulder and had to have a rotator cuff repair.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a major setback. Between that, because when I'm not working out, it's very hard for me to eat correctly. So I ended up gaining all my weight back, plus like 5 pounds or so. So I'm starting the program over again. So I'm not keto adapted. I mean, I checked my blood sugar. My blood sugar has always been under 100. Very rarely does it go over. But I'm just barely in ketosis. So I'm just starting back, doing 2 meals a day. I'm not even starting with fasting again because I'm not ready. I'm not adapted yet. But I had great success and I felt wonderful more than anything. And that's really drawing me back.
What was your why? Was it just to lose weight or what?
No, it was for health reasons too. I have like degenerative disc disease, so osteoarthritis, just some health issues with joint pain, back pain. I'm still dealing with lower back pain right now. So I'm not able to work out like I used to. So, but I'm telling you, when I was strict on keto, the joint pain and the back pain, it truly vanished. And it didn't take that long. And I can even tell if I go and eat sugar or heavy carb meal when I was going off of it, I started aching again. And so just not feeling right, my body, even like my mind and focus and things like that. But that was my why, health and weight. And I didn't have a lot to lose. I had like 10 pounds to lose. 10, 15 pounds to lose beginning it and did it, so I did it once, I can do it again.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can. Yep.
Yeah. Julie's been where you are, that she used keto to lose weight and felt better. And then I don't know, I guess your life went crazy with work and everything. And
I got back into the keto thing and into the carb thing and till I finally went, enough is enough. I'm going to go back to keto because I didn't hurt like I do when I'm eating carbs. My knees hurt, my joints hurt. Yeah, it's just amazing how when you get that inflammation out, that it doesn't, it makes so much difference.
Right.
Sorry, my phone.
That's
We're
okay.
looking for a transfer, sorry.
So how long have you been back then, Julie?
Since August.
Okay.
And
And how are you doing?
I've lost about 50 pounds
Wonderful.
since August. And I can pretty much run up the stairs now at work rather than always having to go. I'm taking the elevator.
Excellent. That's wonderful.
Mhm.
Yeah, falling on the ice is not much fun. Even when you're 50 pounds lighter than you were, it's still no fun.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
exactly.
It's so icy here we got it warm and it melted and then it froze and now it's just slick ice.
Where are you at?
North Dakota, right next
Okay.
to Becky.
Okay.
We're both in central North Dakota.
Okay.
I'm
What?
10 miles from the Canadian border and she's 26 miles southwest of me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in
And,
Pennsylvania.
oh, okay. The man here with us, Scott, that's my husband.
Okay.
So he's upstairs. I'm
Okay.
downstairs.
Yeah,
They have to
so
be separate.
what part of Pennsylvania? Yeah, what part of Pennsylvania are you from then?
So I'm like the suburbs of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
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 great. I hear that's a nice area.
Yeah, it is nice. The weather isn't nice. Like she's saying with the
Yeah.
ice and the slush, and
Yeah,
I just bought yak tracks. Look them up.
okay.
Got
Okay.
some
Do you
too.
have those?
Yeah, but I failed to have them on the other day when I fell.
Okay.
Yeah, I fell Christmas Eve and injured my shoulder and hip.
Hmm.
And it took me a couple of weeks to get over it, but man, it has made me so afraid of falling. Just so afraid. I went to the post office today and it's just an ice skating rink there. And I open the door, I turn and put both feet out. I try with my shoes to see how it is. And then I'm like, okay, this is a good spot. This is a
Yeah.
good spot. I'm getting up and I hold onto the door. I hold onto the vehicle all the way into the building because that feeling of
Mhm.
I'm slipping and I'm falling. Oh, that
Buy yak tracks.
okay. Yak tracks. All right.
Look up yak tracks. They're not expensive. They're like
Okay.
Little
20
cleats
bucks.
that just attach to the bottom of your
They- Right.
I think we got some from my mom one
Mhm.
winter, my brother and I, and she refused to wear them because they weren't very attractive. you
Oh,
know.
yeah. Well,
And I'm like,
Well, stylish before comfort and safety.
mother, having a broken hip isn't attractive either. Trust me.
exactly.
And anyway, Patricia, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I spent a few minutes there trying to type something in. We'll talk about it in a few minutes, but I did want to mention, I'm here in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And thus far, we've had, I think, 1 inch of snow this year.
Mhm.
And
Yay.
and I do have the yak tracks in my closet, but
All right.
Oh,
I haven't been able to use them for like 3 or 4 years. We only have like 1
Oh,
day of snow a year.
mhm.
that's so sad.
My daughters are from Charlotte, Patricia. And we're heading down there next week because we're looking for a house.
Oh, good. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I'll be your neighbor.
there's a lot of Yankees. I'm a former Yankee
Okay.
that have moved down here.
Mhm.
So you're a damn Yankee.
Yeah, pretty bad. But anyway,
I'm a damn Yankee too. I'm in Mississippi.
but anyway, we love Charlotte, and I hope maybe we can get together sometime. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
that'd be wonderful. That'd be great.
I have a girlfriend up in Hendersonville, which is up towards the Smoky Mountains. And she is a Dr. Boz student. And but she doesn't go to any Zoom groups at all. So she and I have a once a week talk session together.
Mhm.
That's good.
And so there's a few other people here in the Charlotte, and I've tried to get up with them a little bit. And I don't know, they just sort of flake away. I don't know. You know,
Okay.
the truth of it is, sometimes people have the best intentions, and then after a few weeks, they realize, oh gosh, this is not right for me right now. And
Mm.
they don't want to get tied down. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I understand.
but anyway,
Well,
I
you'll
have-
have me because I've been in this for years, so I know it. I
yeah,
know it all. It's just doing it. You have to make your mind up. And it took a while for me to get back to that. But it was like, you know what? I feel awful. I've gained weight. I wanted, because I'm a big hiker and biker, and I do, I was doing like 20 miles a few days a week. And
uh,
I have a house in Colorado up in the mountains, and yeah, I'm too active. I don't have time to stop and feel like this. So I have many whys.
Mhm. Yeah, a lot of us have a lot of whys. There's usually one central why for many of us.
Mhm.
And I have to count myself somewhat in the same group with you and Julie, Michelle, because I've had a lot of stress with my work from the end of November all the way and into this week with
Mm.
severely ill people in the hospital and
Mm.
women going into premature labor. And, I've not been getting my sleep. And when I don't get my sleep, I want sugar to stay awake. And so I've imbibed sugar, not liberally, but here and there. And emotionally, I've given in to my emotional eating and stuff. And I know it's not good. I know I shouldn't do it. But I'm hoping for calm seas right now. My last client in the hospital has passed away, and all the babies have been delivered, and all the mamas and babies are fine, and everyone's out of the hospital. I do
Okay.
have one due date the end of this month.
Are
but
you a physician?
I work in alternative healthcare,
Okay.
and so a lot of women come to me because they want a midwife, which I
Okay.
used to be, and I support natural birth and home birth and stuff. But then they get into some trouble, and it's complicated. But anyway,
It could be very stressful. Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
And so it's been stressful, and uh, I'm using it as an excuse, but the first thing I really, really have to do is correct my sleep pattern, because sleep pattern is bad, is really bad with keto. If you're not getting your sleep,
Yeah.
you are more likely to cheat or, um, whatever. And that's me. If I'm tired, I reach for the sugar, because I can't tolerate caffeine. It makes my heart go into irregular beats. So I kind of wish I could have coffee. If I could have coffee with cream in it, that would be great. But
Yeah. Suffer with palpitations. Okay.
yeah, and I've tried the BHB to help with energy, but
Mm.
it too irritates my heart. So, but sugar doesn't. Like, what is the deal? um,
The
so
caffeine.
So I'm basically restarting. My blood sugars have stayed good. I'm not crazy on the sugar to where they go crazy. And so they've stayed good. And my uh, my ketones, I'm usually somewhere between 5 and 1 on the ketones, but I need to get back into the rhythm I was in before, because the rhythm was
Sure.
important to me and it was how I managed everything. But I'm totally out of rhythm, just totally out of rhythm right now. But I'm going to, it's my goal. It's my goal.
So what are you doing to help with your sleep?
Well, uh, tonight I'm hoping to go to bed by 10
Okay.
for the first time since November, probably.
Wow. Okay.
you know. So that's the only thing I can do to help it. It's not that I can't sleep, it's that I'm up.
Because you
I'm
have to be,
Yeah, I'm doing work,
because of the
you know.
work. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm doing work.
Okay.
I'm dictating reports and sending them out and, this and that. And so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I understand.
So I have to fix the sleep so that I can fix the diet. Now I haven't gone crazy. I mean, the only thing I've eaten today has been my egg salad. I love egg salad that I make with just, dill pickle relish and some mayonnaise and salt and the eggs and lots of them. And I love egg salad.
Yeah.
But and I'm kind of hoping I can go to bed without eating anything more,
Okay.
because now it's too late to eat anything really.
Mhm.
But we'll see if I make it. um, so I don't know if I could really be thought of as in ketosis since my numbers are only 0.5 to 1. I know Dr. Boz says that if you're above 0.5, that's the beginning of autophagy, but the deeper you get into ketones, the more autophagy you are. But I'm just going to consider myself not in ketosis and just basically sort of start over. And I haven't gone back to 3 meals a day or anything like that. And I have unfortunately been snacking though,
Okay.
doing a little nibble here and a little nibble there, I try and make it cheese, the hard cheese that I can eat, but sometimes no. But anyway, I'm starting over too. Now,
Have you all read have you read the book or went through the video? So I know that everybody, okay.
I think everybody here has
Consistently
done the
keto?
class. I think
Okay.
everyone, Melody might not have done the class, but I know the 6 people in camera have.
Okay.
And I've read both of Dr. Boz's books several times. And I started Dr. Boz a year and 4 months ago, and I lost 100 pounds, but I'll tell you right now, I've gained 20 of it back. Can you tell by my pudgy cheeks?
Yeah.
I've gained 20 of it back during this
Mhm.
4-month period.
Yeah.
And that's got to go, man.
Yeah.
um,
Good.
so
So I did want to talk a little bit about this doctor that I mentioned in the chat.
oh yeah, go ahead.
So I was in another group and somebody recommended it, and someone else said, oh yeah, he's really good. And so I listened to it. It's a pretty long interview that he did. His English is very good. And the interviewer is also from India, but his English is more British English, but both of them were doctors. So they knew exactly what they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, I mean, he's not exactly Dr. Boz, but he had so much great information in that interview. And he is a heart doctor.
I think this is the one that Scott and I listened to a couple of weeks ago, and we thought, ooh, this guy's good. And he's not as gentle as Dr. Boz. Dr. Boz is sweet and nice and everything. He's a little more, no, you're going to die,
But the great thing was he was talking with authority about
Yes.
about how insulin hurts the body.
Mm-hmm.
And he explained it again, and it was really so, I mean, I'm sorry to admit this again, but I'm not a great faster. But
Mm-hmm.
after I listened to him today, I said, you know what, Patricia, maybe you should do this, because he has a different method. I mean, it's not fair of me to try to explain his method to you, but I'll just do a real short version. he starts everybody out like Dr. Boz. He gets them doing 16-8. And then he gets them to 18-6. And then he gets them to do 24-hour, well, 23-1, basically. And then he says, okay, now don't pretend like you're doing a 1-day fast. You stop eating at dinner one night. Don't eat anything up until, the next night. And then that night, just go to bed and wait until the next morning to eat, which turns it into a 36-hour fast.
Mm-hmm.
And he says that he has found that is so tremendous, because if they do it the way he tells them to do it, which it takes like 3 weeks to get to the point when you're doing the 36 hours. And then they all say, oh my gosh, there was nothing to that. All I had to do was go to bed, and it was 36 hours. And then he says, if you don't do it the way I tell you to do it, you're gonna get the keto flu, what they call the keto flu.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, give you headaches, give you sore throats. It won't be good for you. You might even have digestive problems. He says, don't do that. So just do it slowly. And then after they do 2 weeks or 3 weeks of the 36 hours, 1 day a week, then he does the 3-day fast with them. And then he says, if they don't need to lose the weight, then, you don't have to do it maybe once every 6 months or so, but it's a good way of regulating your insulin. And he's talking from the insulin point of view, which is, as I've told you all before, I had a very poor education in high school for biology.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't understand the insulin stuff until Dr. Boz explained it. And this doctor, he explains it again very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, he has me sort of convinced that maybe I ought to follow his idea. It's
Mm-hmm.
just a little different than Dr. Boz's with the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But he talks about all the bodily benefits of getting that insulin under control.
Mm-hmm.
And how much damage it does to the heart. He's a heart surgeon, so he's talking about how much damage it does to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, a lot of people, before they finally get diagnosed with diabetes, they've already done all the damage to their arteries.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like 10 or 15 years. And he says, by the time they finally catch that the A1C is out of control and you get put on whatever insulin, they've already basically ruined their system.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to get them early into the fasting. So I've talked enough, but I do recommend him.
Yeah, no, he is the person. I looked him up on YouTube, and he is the person that Scott and I listened to. And Melody, I think I sent you one of his videos in Messenger at one time. But yeah, no, and you know what? I was thinking, sometimes when I talk to someone about keto, depending on how they take to the idea and the message, I think about what Dr. Boz video I could send them to get them interested or to explain things. And some of them, I just think that this doctor's videos would be better for them, because their concerns are more about their heart, and just the way they are more, I think they would respond to him better than Dr. Boz. Not because Dr. Boz is wrong or bad or doesn't have good ideas. I just think they would respond to his message better and differently. And I don't think we are being disloyal to Dr. Boz by listening to other doctors who have beliefs similar to hers. And the thing is we all need things to inspire us to stick with the program, because everything around us, our entire society, is bombarding us constantly with things to not stick with the program. You know, I mean, come on, just Sunday Super Bowl. I mean, have you looked at what people serve at a Super Bowl party? No, none of that's good for keto. Well, okay, maybe the wings, unless they're breaded, you know, and stuff. But our society has become overconsumption and nearly constant gorging of things. And if you just watching TV shows now, I'm watching them, they're at dinner and I'm counting how many carbs they're having. You know, it's like, oh, don't have a second piece of cake. No, don't order the mashed potatoes. You're killing yourself. But I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, our daughter has a friend she's had for a good number of years here in town, and she likes to give her something for Valentine's Day every year. And so we were actually out at the store, and she was looking at all the chocolates and everything. And well, this daughter's friend weighs more than I do, and she's 18 and she's much shorter than I am. She's like 5'5", and she has a long life ahead of her, and I'm sure she's insulin resistant. And I said to her, I just can't buy her candy. We've bought her candy all these years. Yes, I know. I've contributed to her obesity and everything. I get it. But I just can't do it this year. And so instead, we decided to get her a personal pizza party. We cut her a pizza crust and tomato sauce and cheese and pepperoni for her to make her own personal pizza party. I was going to make the crust keto, but unfortunately, it does have some wheat. Like, who thought of making cauliflower crust with wheat flour in it? I'm like, what's the point of that? I thought I was buying a cauliflower crust. Okay. No, it has wheat in it. So, well, we gave it to her. She won't mind. But anyway, and then I have a daughter that's disabled and goes to a daily program. And usually every year we've sent treats to all the staff there. One year I'll make cupcakes, another year I'll make a sheet cake and everything. Well, not anymore. I just can't do it. My conscience won't let me contribute to other people's insulin resistance. Of course, then I go and buy chocolate and eat it myself, contributing to my own insulin resistance. So there's a dichotomy for you. But anyway, yeah, so our daughter will do these little craft things, these sticker books and stuff that are actually quite pretty. And we took them and put them into frames and gave them to the staff, one each to the staff. And they actually are quite pretty, and nice for a gift. But coming up with some alternative that's not chocolate, when our country, our society just, that's just crazy. Anyway, so Melody's had some questions, and some of you have been answering her, but I kind of wanted to open it up to all those who maybe haven't seen them, because maybe you have some good ideas for her. So I'm going to scroll back to the beginning. Melody just finished 24-hour fast, and she wanted to know if we fast according to the numbers. So my question is, are these the numbers on the clock, Melody, or is this like your keto and blood sugar numbers? Which numbers are we referring to? Blood sugar and ketone numbers. I don't know. What does everyone think? I mean, I will plan to fast for X number of hours when I have fasted, but I watch my blood sugars, because if they drop into the lower 70s, upper 60s, then I start to feel dizzy and faint and stuff. I may not feel hungry, but I feel dizzy and faint. So I need to watch that. So my idea is that Dr. Boz says plan for 48 hours or plan for 72 hours. But if you start to not feel well, then check your blood sugars and your ketones and your blood pressure and everything to see what's going on with you as to why you don't feel you can go on. That was my impression. What does everybody else think? No one wants to comment?
Well, you should always stop when you don't feel well. You know what? There's always tomorrow to start over again. There's no reason to not feel good. If you can't continue, just say, oh, well, I'll do it again in 2 days or something. There's always another try. So.
Okay.
Have any of you watched Dr. Boz's fasting videos that she's put out?
Yeah.
Because I found, I find it sometimes I don't know where the marker line is either on the time continuum. It's kind of hard to distinguish how she means it, but the more I listen, then the more information you get, of course. But when she said in there that if you get to where you don't feel good, break your fast. She said, if you're in any way a headache, nauseated, any of that, you're not ready yet to go longer than that. And that's fine. Break your fast, go back to it next week and see how far you get, but let your body tell you what you need to do. So you may think you're fat adapted or whatever, but your body really isn't ready to make that many ketones to last that long without some food. So, and what she said is that if you don't make it the full set time that you have, don't feel bad about it. It's just that you're not ready yet.
Yeah. Yeah, if I feel hungry, then I'll check my blood sugar and see if it's real hunger or what. If it's not real hunger, then I would use some salt. Now, I know Melody seems to have a problem with salt. Now, my thought is that the longer Melody does keto, the more possibility that she's going to stop having that problem with salt. So you might watch that, Melody, because you're saying you're hungry. And one of the things Dr. Boz says to do when you get those hunger pangs and stuff is to, just a second, I'm looking for something, is to have some of the Redmond real salt, the little crystals, not the powder, not the finely ground powder, but the little crystals that you can put in your mouth. Can we see those? And stuff. And those do seem to stop my little gurglings and hunger pains and stuff. But I know you are sensitive to salt, your ears or something. I forget the name of the disorder your ENT told you, but I'm thinking that could possibly change. Oh, there you go. Endolymphatic hydrops. I think that could change because keto changes our body chemistry and how our body uses the different, chemistry that we have. And so the longer you're on keto, that may actually change because that's not a natural state for the body. The body doesn't want to have endolymphatic hydrops,
But she said she uses salt and salt water when she fasts, but not when she's eating. I actually take the crystals just like I would a pill.
Mhm.
I put them in my mouth, I don't know. I guess I'm pretty liberal with them. I just pour some out in my palm and pop them in my mouth. And if I'm really craving something, I let them sit there for a little while and then I swallow them, and with water usually. But I noticed myself that it really curbs that, oh, I gotta munch on something, that not boredom, maybe that boredom munchiness, maybe. It really curbs that, and then you go on and do your own thing, and it doesn't come back for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, and Melody says she is thinking that is more normalizing now that she's having less trouble with the sugar. Now I don't know where my mouse went.
With the salt.
There it is. Yeah, with the salt. Here it is. And she tried the crystals, but the hunger didn't go away. But
How
she
many?
did push through. Yeah, how many crystals did you try, Melody? I don't know how many. I don't think I've ever counted them. I just
Pinful.
put, I don't know, 4 or 5, a pinchful. Okay. Anyway,
Did you suck on them or did you just swallow them?
The truth of it is, if it's a psychological need, you could have pounds of the salt and it's not going to fix the problem, I think.
yeah, if it is a psychological thing, I mean, I think psychologically it's very stressful. If I'm here at the house and I've had enough sleep, and I can avoid all sorts of stuff. But if I'm out and everybody around me is eating or talking about, oh, I got to go eat lunch, or I'm having supper with so and so, and they're gnawing on a candy bar, I tell you, I just fall apart. I am mentally weak. I am mentally weak. Okay, let's see. Melody, did we answer any of your other questions? Anybody else have any other questions?
I have a thought. I mean, this was, now
Sure.
this is going back when I was doing really well
Mhm.
and I was successful with the fast. I think the most I did was 42 hours and I had all kinds of energy. My ketones were very high. My blood sugar was fine. I can't remember at this point. I'd have to look back, but I don't know, 60s, maybe low 60s. And I still felt okay, but I never had hunger. I just had all kinds of energy.
Mhm.
However, when I started eating again, eating carbs, and I guess I got myself out of being keto adapted, and Tammy will know that anytime I try to fast, I can't. I get very shaky. Like you're saying, my blood sugar drops way low. I think it was like 48, 50.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you were probably not, you
And
were
I was
not making
shaking.
ketones. Yeah. Yep. I used to do that too.
No, I did have, there was some ketones, but they weren't really high like they used to be. So I guess, is that true? Is it because I started eating the carbs and the sugar again? And that's why I wasn't able to, I'm not able to fast? Because I wasn't keto adapted.
I think so. I think you are less able to fast when you're adding carbs in. And I know right now I would not be successful at a
No.
fast,
Okay.
Well, it's much easier for your body to use glucose
Mhm.
and to make, have glucose in your system, and your body is going to want to use the easiest part. It's not going to want to make the ketones to use that. And if you don't already have them, fasting makes you ill almost.
Mhm.
But yeah, I believe that's because when we have too many carbs in the system, that the body wants to use the glucose and it runs out, and then all of a sudden you're shaky and you feel like your knees are knocking and your head hurts. And
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's why I'm gonna stay off that fasting until I'm back into this study and keto adapted. So that's it.
Well, every time you go off, you have to come back further back than where you ended. You have to back up until your body can live there. And then you go forward again.
Mhm.
Because like if I went off, started eating carbs for a week, I couldn't go to just eating once a day again, like
Right.
tomorrow, because all of a sudden you have very easy glucose to use and your body's not making those ketones from your liver. And so all of a sudden it's like, whoa, where'd my energy go?
Yeah.
I don't have anything to run on. So you have to
Right.
back up. You might not
Yeah.
back up to 1 meal a day. You might have to go back to 2 meals a day. And then it goes, it's a faster transition than it was the previous time, but you always have to back up to go forward.
Mhm.
I'm back to the basics. I'm back to fat in my coffee.
Yeah.
And then I'll eat around 1, and then I'll try to eat my last meal no later than 5. So it's like really 2 meals, but then there is that
But the coffee.
butter and the which
Yeah.
you really count as a meal, but
Mhm.
that's where I'm at.
And that's all right. You got to start backwards somewhere to know what,
Yeah.
and then work
Yeah.
your way back up.
So for those of you who fast or who have fasted, do you check your ketones while you're doing the fast or only at the end of the fast?
For me, it depends how long the fast is. I might do it if you're going longer and going to bed and you haven't eaten, I would check it before bed, just to see where you're at.
Mm.
Again, I do want to recommend that video. He was sort of cute. He said, he doesn't talk about blood testing at all.
No.
And he said, if you're not sure, just go to the store and get yourself some of those ketone urine strips. And he said, anything over 2 is you're in ketosis. Point 2. He meant 0.2.
Okay.
And he doesn't talk about blood testing at all. He feels like as soon as you get in ketosis, it's golden. It's golden. It was very encouraging to me.
Yeah. I would agree, some ketones are better than no ketones, but I don't know, maybe I'm anal retentive or something. I like testing, but when I've done a 36-hour fast or a 48-hour fast, I don't test my ketones at all while I'm fasting. I will test my blood sugar to make sure I'm staying nice and even. But I don't test my ketones until the end because I want to see what I got to, and I've gotten to 4.6 before, but
Wow.
nothing close to that anytime lately, but it's up to you, for me, I look at it as, the ketones for me aren't as important a number because if I've got ketones, okay, good, I'm good. But if the blood sugar drops too low, then I'm in trouble. And the strips cost money. They're about $1 a strip or 80 cents a strip. I think I did the math on them once. And so, the glucose strips are cheaper and they affect me more immediately. I mean, I probably have lived the vast majority of my 60 years not in ketosis at all because of all the carbs I eat. Well, I have eaten in my life. I've probably never been in ketosis until after I found Dr. Boz. And so I feel like checking my ketones is good to reaffirm that I'm actually in ketosis, that I've got some ketones, but I don't do it more than once a day, even if I'm fasting. And but my blood sugar, I might check more than once a day. But that's my opinion. The other thing I've figured out now that I have that 4/6 monitor and I have the uric acid, I watched someone, I'm not sure if it's the guy Pradip, whatever his name is, that you Pradip. His name is Pradip. I don't think it was him. It was someone else. I've tested my uric acid about an hour or two after eating sugar. And yeah, it does go up. And I'm like, maybe all of my little vertebral bodies that get sore when I eat chocolate are because chocolate makes uric acid build up in my little vertebral bodies of my low back. And I'm like, huh, interesting. So it's kind of interesting. I've kind of played around with the uric acid strips a bit because it's like I can actually see my inflammation building with the uric acid, and it's not good. So Melody says Dr. Boz confuses her. I can understand how you can think that. The woman has so many videos out there, and so many of them, she's focusing on this, and then the next one she's focusing on that, and the next one this and that, and it can get confusing to keep them all straight. And that's why following the workbook is the thing, because it's solid, and to do that, so you follow the workbook, you go back to the workbook, you have questions, look in the workbook, and then you can go and look for maybe a video for that particular thing. And don't just watch Dr. Boz. There's Dr. Barry and there's Dr. Berg, and they are much more straight line people, so yeah, and this is a process. We're all learning. I mean, I've been doing this for a year and 4 months, but here I am still telling you I'm making mistakes, and I'm getting back up and dusting myself off and getting back to it because I know this is what I have to do for my health. Is it embarrassing? Yes, it's an embarrassing thing. I'm the leader of the group and I'm eating chocolate, you know? So the thing is I'm human, we're all human, and none of us has all the knowledge. Even Dr. Boz doesn't have all the knowledge in the world. And I think reaching out to this Pradip or Pradip person, listening to his things, like Patricia has suggested, I mean, he inspired me. I sent his video to a couple of people that I had never felt comfortable sending a Dr. Boz video to. And I think part of it was they're men. And I think women really, really, really respond very well to Dr. Boz. But some men are like, yeah, she's a nice lady, but, you know, um, and then some people don't really like Dr. Berg or Dr. Barry. Who's that other guy? There's another B.
Kind of
Dr.
like your
Berg.
teacher, kind of like your teachers in school.
Yeah, exactly.
Some you learn well from and others you don't.
Right. And so although I love Dr. Boz and I am eternally grateful for her book and the change it made in my life, I mean, she saved my life this last year. Because if I had not made the changes, a year ago, November, and lost that 100 pounds, I could have died from COVID. I mean, when I got COVID in October, I was 100 pounds down. My liver enzymes had normalized, my kidney values had all normalized, my blood pressure was down, my blood sugars were back, in the normal range and everything. And then I got COVID. And the medications they give you for COVID, I got COVID pneumonia and was in the hospital for just a couple of days. But it was enough, trust me, because the remdesivir and the antibiotic they gave me, they told me this will make your blood pressure go up. Yeah, it did. It was over 200. It was 220 over 110. And if I hadn't been able to, with keto, bring my blood pressure down before I got sick with Dr. Boz, I could have died. I would have blown out blood vessels, or had a heart attack. And my liver, the remdesivir and the antibiotics and the prednisone they gave me and everything, that stresses the liver. What if I hadn't reversed my liver, you know? And that's why so many people that go into the hospital with COVID pneumonia, very sick, if they have these pre-existing conditions, they do much worse than people who don't. And I'm obese. I'm 60. If I hadn't done Dr. Boz for that year, that 11 months before I got COVID, I probably would have died. In fact, I had told my husband when COVID hit, when they were saying that people with pre-existing conditions were more likely to die, blah, blah, blah. I had told him, I said, if I get COVID, it's going to be a problem because I've got all of the pre-existing conditions they say are bad. I'm obese. I'm borderline diabetic. My liver enzymes are bad. My blood pressure is high. Not as high as with remdesivir, heaven's sakes. But I'm a goner if I get COVID. So I thank Dr. Boz. I am eternally grateful to finding her book and finding the inspiration from her book to change my life. But I like seeing other people. I like watching Dr. Berg and Dr. Berry and this Dr. Pradip. His name needs to change to something with a B so we can keep
Mr.
all the
P,
B.
Dr. P.
Dr. P. Okay. I don't.
No,
or we
his
could-
last name starts with J, so you
Yeah,
have to
it's
call him Dr. J.
yeah, it's Dr. Jama, Dr. Jamma. We could call him Dr. Jamma. Whamma Bama Jamma, Dr. Whamma Bama Jamma. But we all have to look at ourselves and our bodies and where we are in our lives and in what we can do for ourselves and work at healing ourselves. And the good thing is we have each other to bounce ideas off of and, to talk through stuff. And I'm so excited that Melody is able to say that maybe her issues with salt are starting to go away. And last week when she told us her IBS was much better, that's exciting for me. And it helps me think, now, come on, you can do this. You can get back on a good sleep schedule and get back on a good eating schedule and stop eating after dark, because that's been a problem since I've been staying up late. I get hungry, and that's what this group is about, is supporting each other in good times and in bad times, and answering questions.
She says, I don't have to pee at night either, she says.
Oh, well, that's great. That's great. Scott would like to stop doing that. With Dr. Boz, I've had Scott drinking more and more water,
Yeah, I've done much better with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, most nights I don't have to get up anymore. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, I didn't realize, because I've been up and awake and not in the bedroom noticing him
Right,
getting out of the bed. So I haven't noticed that change in him. But yeah, it's
Well, I definitely sleep better.
mhm,
I sleep. I dream almost every night now, of course, unless we get called out. But
mhm,
if I'm working, even at work, I sleep much better than I used to.
mhm,
You're in a different bed. You're on call. You could get woke up at any time of the night. Sometimes that gets in the way. But
mhm,
I've been actually sleeping rather well at work, so I'm happy about that.
mhm. Oh, Melody says she doesn't have to. Oh, and she says, yes, my hormones seem to be changing, not perfect, still moody sometime, but my mental energy is better when I fast. Sleep still eludes me. Oh, well, maybe it's coming, Melody. Now, the nice thing is, now, as soon as I say this, I'll have a problem. Nice thing about me, as soon as I do lay down, I'm out. Goodbye. Good night. I'm so tired. And as long as a dog or a cat or Scott or a child or the phone doesn't bother me, I'm out. Goodbye. See ya. But
I used to have a hard time falling asleep, but not so much anymore. I can usually just go, okay, time to sleep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's me. Time to sleep. Gone. But I even, I got one of these Fitbitty things to watch my sleep patterns and stuff. And I'm almost obsessed about it. It's that obsessive compulsive thing. I like looking at what it tells me about my sleep. And I'm getting much more REM sleep and not as much deep sleep as I'd like, but hopefully that will fix now that I'm going to fix my sleep pattern and everything. But I like data. Maybe that's why I like Dr. Boz, because I like data and everything. Anyway, well, it's 8 o'clock. Melody says she's been in for 2 months and 3 days now. Go, Melody. She
What's
made
the
it.
fair play, Michelle? What's fair play? Oh, you're on mute.
Melody asked me what part of Colorado earlier, and
Oh.
I just now I
Oh.
was reading back.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was Fair Play Company, Melody. And I'm like,
What?
okay, what's there?
I was
Is-
reading back. Yeah, it's a great place out there. Yeah.
Is the fair play company one that helps people with fasting?
No.
Do we need to join?
So Fairplay, Colorado, it's 10,100 feet up. So it's
Oh,
it'll take your breath away.
Oofda.
yeah, wow.
You know, I was on another group this week and she asked the question, if you were at your goal weight, what would you do? What is your dream? And it just sort of hit me, I would love to go back to Alberta, Canada and climb some of those beautiful mountains and see some of those lakes again. And boy, I'm getting closer. I'm not there yet, but it is really great to have that ahead of us,
Mhm,
Mm-hmm.
that our lives are going to be much better
mhm.
Yep.
when we get this weight off.
Yeah.
Yeah, only 80 more pounds to go.
But you're on the right track. So
Yes,
You
yeah,
can do it.
yeah,
We can do it.
yeah. And to be honest with you, I know weight is an external thing that other people can see our success and it is very gratifying, but we do need to remind ourselves of our other whys,
Well,
the other.
tonight, I'm sorry for interrupting, but at the squad meeting for the ambulance there, they said, of course, I had asked if I was losing weight. Yeah, okay. And they asked how I was doing it. And one of them said cocaine. That's why she has so much energy.
Cocaine. Yeah, okay, no, that would be a unique weight loss system.
No, thanks. I said, I don't need any of that. I'm good.
No,
I've
it's
heard that some people do meth because they want to lose weight and it makes you lose weight. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a crazy way to do it.
Well, and I've also been told that doing meth gives you throat cancer and makes you lose your teeth. But that's in my line
Right,
of
yeah,
business. So
yeah, I mean, there
throat cancer makes you lose your teeth. That's what happens.
and people say keto is unhealthy and not safe. Well, cocaine, heroin, and meth to lose weight aren't good either,
Right.
Yeah, and you cannot tell me eating, those shakes 2 or 3 times a day and then a sensible supper is healthy either. So no.
I used to do that.
Yeah, I
I still
remember.
thought, so.
Yeah. What was that? Was that Relive or
Oh, Herbalife.
Herbalife? That's right. You were into Herbalife. Yeah.
Can I ask a quick question? Just
Sure.
out of curiosity. So everybody who's fasting, and you're eating, because I think Julie said you had egg salad.
Mhm.
That was
So,
Becky. Yeah.
so like back when I was eating one meal a day, I tried to have it kind of balanced with the vegetables and stuff, but are you guys still eating your vegetables and a little bit of like berries, fruits, or are you more going carnivore?
Um, I'm leaning towards carnivore, actually, and I mostly will have meat and eggs. But I do, like I had my pickle relish with my mayonnaise, and then I had my hard cheese that I tolerate. Um, and I will eat cabbage and broccoli. Um, if I get any kind of dizziness, the first thing I do is I have some broccoli because it seems like I'm missing some potassium. The reason I'm going more carnivore is because I've been listening to um, Michaela Peterson. Have you heard of her? Um, She
Um,
she she was a young woman. She's in her 30s now. I think she's 32 or 34, something like
yeah.
that. And she's from Canada originally. She now lives in Tennessee. And she struggled throughout her life with childhood juvenile arthritis or
I
rheumatitis or
have,
whatever. And
yes.
she had to have a total hip replacement and a total ankle replacement. And she had all sorts of depression and anxiety and blah, 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 blah. And she finally decided to go off everything but meat. And she eats basically just beef now, just beef. And she's healthy. She went through a pregnancy, had a healthy baby, and she has no pain and no depression, no anxiety. And she did a TED talk recently, and the TED organization decided not to post her TED talk because it went against community guidelines.
No.
And she posted it herself, and I watched it and I thought it was very good. And it basically is just her story of how she struggled through her whole life. I mean, the first signs of her juvenile arthritis was when she was 2, and she's been through an awful lot of both physical and emotional pain. And for her, it just doesn't work to eat vegetables and fruits. It just doesn't work. Her body just does not do well with it. And she knows she's an odd duck, but she wants other people to know, not because she thinks everyone should go carnivore, but she thinks people should know the possibilities that if you've not found something to help you, this is extreme, but why not try it, you know?
A new year, new me. This year, I am going to try and focus more on
What you doing?
Who's that?
Sorry. I was
Oh.
looking her up. My daughter has rheumatoid arthritis. She's 27,
Mm,
and she did keto for about 3 months and lost about 15 pounds, which I don't think she had to lose.
mhm,
And she did feel a lot better, but she
mhm.
suffers with anxiety. Maybe I'll share her story with her. I totally
Yeah.
forgot about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well,
Look up on YouTube. She just posted it like the last week or so. Look her channel up. It should be there. My TED talk that wasn't posted, I think was the title or something, because she goes through how she suffered as a child and the anxiety and the depression and all the medications she's been on and everything for her anxiety and depression. Because I mean, it's worth a try. I know it's crazy. I know all her friends will look at her like, you're not having pizza with us, you know? Hey, pizza isn't worth the kind of pain she had, you know? And
and I kind of tell that with, I tell that to people that, oh, keto is this or keto is that. I'm like, if you gave it a month and you didn't feel bad, it was just 1 month out of your lifetime, and you tried it and you know it doesn't work for you, which normally isn't the case. But instead of just throwing it out the window before you even have a chance to try it, doesn't help you. I mean, and it's not going to hurt you to try doing keto. And by a month, usually you can tell a difference.
Mhm.
I think by a month you can tell a difference. Not that some people don't do it for 6 months and then decide they don't want to anymore,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you know,
Michelle, you said you didn't think she had the 15 pounds to lose. Is she just terribly thin?
She's tall, she's 5'10",
Hmm.
and she's like thin, like small frame.
Okay.
I think like hips, like, yeah, not maybe she's a little broader in her shoulders, but she was just always so thin.
Hmm.
And but she gained a little bit and she saw me because I was doing phenomenal on it.
Hmm.
And she's like, Mom, I want to do it. And I told her it helps with inflammation
Hmm.
and everything. So she did it. Her hair though fell out. I think it was too hard for her to stay on it. It's like even now I think she was just doing a lot of it wrong. She would eat like lunch meat and cheese. You really shouldn't be eating the lunch meat, right?
No.
And so her hair started falling out. And I know Dr. Boss says that sometimes that does happen, but then it will come back. But she had some blood work and she was low in certain vitamins,
Mhm.
what were you saying about it? Yeah, she didn't have 15. I didn't think she had 15 pounds to lose.
well, Scott doesn't have 15 pounds to lose either.
Yeah, Scott is
He's a team
6'5" and he weighs 165. And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
he eats more carbs than the others of us, but he's very picky about his carbs.
Mhm.
He picks ones that, have good protein and good nutrients like nuts and things. And so he'll eat more carbs. We're all trying to eat 20 carbs or less, but
Mhm.
he'll eat 30 to 50 in a day because he really can't
Yeah.
afford to lose weight.
Which will just start dropping more, right?
Yeah, yeah. And he and I have opposite problems. I can't afford to gain anymore, and he can't afford to lose anymore.
Brad, you can't just share it. Here, take some.
Well, I would love to share with him. I'm a very sharing, giving person, but that doesn't seem to work with this. Okay. Well, I do hope, Michelle, that your daughter will try. I mean, she's 24 or no, 27, you said.
27. Yeah, and
Yeah.
she suffers with a lot of anxiety. And they put her on an antidepressant, her doctor, and even, I mean, she went to counseling for a year and it just, her anxiety, it was just, she needed to do something. And so I was never for antidepressants, but in her case, she went ahead. I think it was a good idea, but she's been on them a couple months and she's starting to have like anxiety again. So she's going to see her doctor. But I told her that when you were on keto, your anxiety a lot of it seemed to dissipate. So that is a benefit of it. So
Well,
just give it a try.
I've heard from other people on keto that their depression eases, their anxiety eases.
Mhm.
And, but the problem is a lot of people believe keto is hard. I don't think eating keto is hard. I think the social mental stuff is hard,
Mhm, exactly.
because the food of keto is fine. I mean, come on, I like cheese, I like eggs, I love egg salad, I like salad, I like steak. Come on, I'm good. But it's the mental battle. It's the mental battle that's so hard. The mental and emotional battle for me, that's so hard. And your daughter, now, does she live with you or near you or?
No, she lives in Charlotte.
Oh,
And
okay.
she lives with her boyfriend.
Okay.
And Nicole likes her sugar.
Oh, well, don't we all?
I mean, but no, I called her Sugar Queen because she
Yeah.
would, when she started driving, and she was never heavy. So, but back then we were just like, oh yeah, you can eat it all you want. But she'll have like sweet tart packs and all that stuff, you know, gummies, and it's just terrible for her. So she goes through these periods of time where she just wants her sweets. And she knows it's not good for her, and she knows she feels inflamed with it. And
Well,
she was just telling me today she needs to find some other diet program, something, because she's gaining weight, and she thinks it's from the medication and feeling it's making her kind of feel fatigued.
Well, maybe she doesn't need keto, but maybe she can just do low carb, maybe under 50 grams or 60 or whatever number that she feels that she can have. She needs to cut out all that sugar and
I
inflammation.
told
But
her what I said, just cut out the sugar alone.
cut out the sugar, and she doesn't have to go to keto at 20, and maybe that's a goal to get to in the future, but she can just go low carb right now with good carbs, like what Scott's doing.
Mhm.
yeah.
If you can't get to 20, get to 50. I mean,
Right.
it's got to be better than what you're doing before.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, if I am pretty sure that I was eating more than 300 carbs a day when I started keto. And that's why I eased from November and December. I started easing down on my carbs because I knew I would crash into keto flu if I just went from 300 carbs to 20, you know. And you know, maybe Michelle, you know, you could help her ease down. Now the problem comes with the boyfriend. I mean, is he overweight? Please say yes.
No,
Oh,
he
too bad.
looks like he's like a GQ model. He works
Oh
out.
man.
Nicole doesn't like to work out, but no, he's slim and fit, and you know, they're in their 20s. And Nicole, if I showed you a picture, she looks like she works out and everything.
Mhm,
But she's just seeing she's gaining some weight.
mhm.
And you know, but she needs to do it for her arthritis too, you know,
Yeah.
and get that out.
Well,
And the anxiety, you know, she's not depressed. It's just anxiety, you know.
yeah. Maybe this Dr. Pradip has a video on depression and stuff. I know he's a cardiologist and stuff, but
Mhm.
you know, he talks about insulin and cholesterol and heart
Mhm.
things. Maybe he has one, and maybe you need to find the thing that would inspire her to change,
Mhm.
you know. And if Dr. Boz isn't it, okay. I mean,
Yeah,
Dr.
there's
Boz
somebody else.
inspired me, but there's got to be somebody else.
Do you have
There's
his link? Do you have a link? Can somebody post it for me?
yeah, when I put this video up on my YouTube channel, I'll post it on the
Thank you.
Buzz, and I'll put the link in the description. So we need to find what will inspire her to change her life. And maybe he's the one, maybe one of Dr. Barry's videos would be the one or something. Look around, you know your daughter, you know her personality, you know what she's been through, what might speak to her heart and mind and get her to change,
Right. Thank you.
you know. Anyway, well, it's almost 8:20, and I'm going to call this week's meeting to a close, and wish everybody a good week, and we'll see you next week, 7 o'clock, if you're able. Oh, and Renee couldn't come tonight. She had some conflict with a client, but she'll try and be here next week.
No
And
Jenny either.
yeah, oh, Jenny's still on a cruise. Jenny went on a 2-week cruise. So next week, Jenny should be back.
Ooh-wee, baby. Oh,
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you don't mind if I come back. I
Oh,
need
no, come
some
on back.
support. I need some support to keep me on track, because Tammy has been just like the best for me. We talk once a week, unless I say I'm busy, I can't talk, but she is just faithful and has just been there for me
Mhm.
for what, like a year now, Tammy?
It's been, no, it's probably been more than a year.
More than a
going on
year.
Maybe a year,
Maybe
more than a
two.
year.
But
Maybe
I
a
have
year and a half.
Yeah, so she's heard all my stories. She knows everything, but yeah, I think she thought I needed like a support system too, and it keeps us accountable. So
Yeah, we all need support, all of us. And you're welcome. The more the merrier.
thank
And
you.
some weeks I have a set topic that I think maybe we could talk about. And other weeks we just talk like this about whatever's come up and what everybody's thinking or any questions and stuff. And so anyway, all
Thank you.
right. I'm gonna stop the recording and say good night.